Yeah, it goes everybody because we'll be playing a game called Cabin Fever. Sesame Street movie. Requested by Tallow Song. So I believe that this game has these. Alright.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for protagonist 1, boys. Okay, let's begin. Type name here. Clef.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, sure. Confirm. This game contains sensitive content and is intended for mature audiences. For more information about our current content warnings, visit here. Please confirm that you're over the age of 13 and wish to continue. Don't worry, according to my birth certificate, I'm 99 plus years old, so I'm good. Let's see, what else? Looks like the recording is doing fine. Chapter 1 Prologue, and it's raining hard. I hope the recording doesn't get ruined because of that.
I don't remember much about the world before the sickness.
Hey, cool. I can, not talk.
I was just a kid when it started. Too young to fully grasp all the changes happening across the globe. Looking back, it was as though some cosmic clearance bin of trashy dystopian paperbacks was spilling plot points out onto reality. You had your unknown virus, your slow-to-act world leaders, your extremists, deniers on one end, doomsday preppers on the other, and overall just a heck of a lot of scandal and angst.
Just gonna do a little bit of this. Yeah.
What it boiled down to was this. Stay away from each other.
Ew, people.
Yep, that's simple. Stay away. Because the sickness mutated so rapidly, spread so easily, and killed so many, that preventing transmission was the only way to stop it from wiping out the human race. A cure could be developed, they told us.
And they did.
Would be developed, they promised.
And they did. Turns out just a friggin' cold.
Somehow. Someday. Life changed. Everything from school and work to medical appointments and family dinners became virtual. And as it turns out, hosting an online society requires a lot of computer programming.
Yes, it does.
Like, a lot.
Ain't you quirky?
Lucky for me, I'd always had a knack for stuff like that. It was easy to get trained and even easier to find work. When's the last time you heard a young person say that, huh? I did programming for medical services, government websites, automated manufacturing. There was no shortage of freelance contracts.
Holy shit, are you rich now?
Of course, places like movie theaters, shopping malls, and restaurants died out. Even farms and factories became rare. So much of the workforce lost.
Wait, farms? Holy shit. Food shortage. We're gonna die.
But to be honest, I personally thought all of it was a net gain for the planet.
Oh crap. You're one of those where the planet is dying. We need to help them.
Fewer people meant less pollution. War and terrorism dropped to an all-time low. Most people learned to be at least somewhat self-sufficient.
It does have a large blow to the economy, though.
As for me?
As for you.
Well, since my parents both died not long after my high school graduation, I was probably more self-sufficient than most.
Are you bragging?
I was alone for a long time. Long enough to be used to it. At least I was healthy. I had my routine, with lots of work to keep me busy and the internet at my fingertips to keep me from getting bored. What more could I have wanted?
Money. Power. Both? What more could you want? Gonna do something or what? Okay. Chapter 2, Seed. Wait, where's the... Oh, you want me to read this? Alright. I lived in an off-grid cabin that had been my family for years. When I was young, we used to visit every summer, just to get away from it all. I'd probably call that ironic, but every time I say that word, someone tells me I'm using it wrong. Is it wrong? I don't know how that's ironic, though. Yeah, maybe you are using it wrong. Anyway, when the sickness started spreading, the cabin became a place to survive. It had everything a small family could need. Though, like I said, by this time, I was the sole member of my bubble. I was used to taking care of myself. On a good day, with the sun shining onto the solar panels, I could get 30 kilowatts an hour, blah blah, more than enough to power the appliances in the house and keep the battery bank full. And since the cabin sat near the mountains, I'd often get a decent power level at night, with the wind turbine catching the air coming off the ridge. But that night was raining hard. Like most evenings, I spent this one on my computer playing my favorite idle clicker game and browsing the web for news. The news was mostly doom and gloom, and of course, but I liked finding the odd tech or space-related articles sprinkled in. I was thinking about how badly I wanted aliens to be real when an email alert danced in the corner of my screen. I opened it. Yet another forward from one of my more gullible work colleagues about a possible cure for the death-dealing virus. This particular claim apparently stemmed from a breakthrough in the study of bovine bodily function.
What a load of bullshit.
Yeah, cows and bulls, bullshit pun.
Literally. Good one.
Oh, come on, don't just point out that I pointed it out. It becomes awkward now. It was pretty much the only company I had anymore, so yeah, I talked to myself. I deleted the email, letting out a heavy sigh. You should have been playing dating sim, bro. You're not gonna feel alone, bro. But once you're finished with one, you'll be like, oh fuck, this empty feeling is here again. There was a point in time when I found that sort of thing amusing. The ridiculous conspiracy theories and clickbait titles, but now I just found them sad. I glanced at the clock. Time for tea. I put the computer into sleep mode and headed into the kitchen. On my way there, I accidentally kicked a broomstick laying across the floor.
Ow! Ow, ow, ow!
Oh my god, my body's weak.
Why is that even there? I never sweep.
Is that something to brag about? In that moment, I judged myself hard. Fuck me. Oh well, the world basically ended, so what's the point of cleaning up? I wasn't expecting company. I kicked the broom aside and carried on. Is the broom made out of sledgehammer? In the kitchen, I steeped in a nice big cup of herbal tea. Then I tossed my used tea bag into the compost bin, noting as I did that, the bin was nearly full. Man, I'm a slob. I'd have to take it out soon and empty it into the tumbler with the rest of food scraps and plant waste. Then probably in the spring, I'd add fresh compost to the garden, give my plants a healthy nutrient boost. I love my plants, wanted them to be strong in case they ever needed to defend the cabin from zombies or traveling salespeople. People, or just people in general. Smirking to myself, I stood in the kitchen and sipped my tea. The only sound was the muffled rush of the rain outside. So peaceful. Where's the peace? What was that? A fowl prowling outside? A raccoon? There wasn't a person in my garden, was there? I went to the window, peering out into the darkness and listening hard.
I don't have to go out there and check, do I?
You will.
I mean, someone could be in trouble.
Yes, they are.
But then again, someone could be trouble.
Okay.
Maybe just stand on the porch and yell for whoever it is to get off the lawn?
What are you, an old man? I weighed my options. Go outside and investigate the noise. Screaming had sounded human. I couldn't just ignore that. As much as I wanted to stay inside warm and dry.
I was raised by humanitarian hippies, and all I got was this pesky conscience.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for raising me as a good person with empathy. Huh?
Kidding. Love you, Mom and Dad. Please don't haunt me.
I set down my tea, went to find my crank-powered flashlight, and shoved my feet into a pair of boots. Hopefully and probably I wouldn't find anything out there, but checking was the right thing to do. I pulled open the window. I pulled open the door and stepped out into the porch. The flashlight flickered pathetically. Luckily, all you need to power up a hand crank flashlight is hands, which I had. Wow. I scanned the dark garden. Raindrops lit up as the light passed over them, and the trees and shrubs around the cabin swayed. All I could hear was wind and rain. A chill ran down my neck.
Yo, anybody out here? No? Cool. Have a good night then.
I turned to head back inside. A small voice stopped me in my tracks.
Hello? I'm here. Would you mind, helping me out of this, please?
The rain seemed to beat down harder as my pulse sped up. I turned my flashlight toward the voice, my hand visibly trembling.
It sure is cold out. I'm definitely not shaking out of fear, because that would be super lame.
Pointing out that I'm not feeling this particular thing, even though it is the complete opposite, makes me so quirky and funny and, cope. It helps me cope, etc. Forced myself to step down off the porch and follow the path, until finally I was close enough to make out the shape of a person. As the weak flashlight beam illuminated more, I gasped. Whoever I'd been expecting to find, it certainly wasn't this delicate wisp of a girl. Where the hell? She was so pale, she almost looked like a ghost. Even her hair, long and clinging to her face in the rain, shone bright, almost white in the glow of the flashlight. She crouched on her hands and knees in the mud, as though she'd fallen. 100 questions raced through my head, like where the hell do you get that fashion sense? Where did she come from? How long did she have been out in the storm? Why wasn't she dressed for the rain? Was she lost? Was she sick? Try to sound tough, like my dad would have.
You there! What are you doing on my property?
Yeah, what a man. The young woman squinted against the flashlight.
Please? I got lost and I promise I wasn't trying to steal anything.
That's what they all say. Her voice quivered, which I thought was kinda dumb. After all, she was the interloper. It was me who should be freaking out, which I was.
Well, then explain yourself! Why are you just laying on the ground there? Seems pretty sus.
Sus? Why the heck did I add that last part? What was I trying to do? Lighten the mood? Trying to be hip with the kids? Oh god. The girl turned her head away. Was she trying to make me feel bad? Was she, God forbid, stifling a cough? I took a step back, unwilling to take any chances.
I can't get up.
How? Her matter-of-fact tone surprised me. Guess I was expecting some elaborate sad story, and were pleased for food or money or medicine. It could still be a trick, I thought. She could be getting ready to rob me. At this point, my flashlight was starting to lose its brightness. I stood there cranking the handle to power the light back up. It was a long, awkward intermission, backed by the droning sound of the flashlight being worked, but the light was coming back on. I wound the crank a few more times to shine it brighter on her. The whole horrifying picture became clear. Oh crap, that's a bear trap. Somehow the girl had gotten her leg caught in one of my animal traps. She must not have seen the rest of the whole thing in the dark, and it had grabbed her calf and torn it open. Okay, so this probably wasn't a trick.
Oh my god! Are you okay?
Doesn't look like it. Started to move towards her, but then my own legs froze in fear of getting close to another human. If she was sick, then I could get sick. But then I had no way of knowing whether or not she carried the virus, and right now she was hurt and trapped because of me. I felt horrible. If I left her to fend for herself, anything could happen. A hungry bear might come along, the weather could turn freezing, and even if she did manage to get herself out of the trap, she would probably develop an infection fast in such a nasty wound. Swallowing hard, I clenched my fist and forced myself to approach her. I had to get away, way too close for comfort, but I crouched, opened the trap, and freed her leg. That was easy. It was bleeding pretty heavily, though now I could see it up close. It didn't look to be as deep as I'd feared.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you found me. I was afraid I'd be trapped in that thing all night.
I stood up quickly and took a few steps back. For some reason, the girl was smiling at me. Did she understand that it was my stupid fault she'd gotten hurt? Oh boy, hope we don't get any lawyers involved here. Then again, maybe she shouldn't have been sneaking around in the dark. My brain bickered with itself over who was to blame before realizing the girl wasn't able to get to her feet. I reluctantly offered her hand, wishing I thought to put on some nitrile gloves. I don't know, that's red. But why would I have thought of that? I hadn't seen another human in... How long had it been? Accepting my help, the girl climbed to her feet. She wobbled, leaned in, and grabbed my waist to use me as a crutch.
Sorry. Is it okay that I'm touching you like this?
Oh, my poor virgin heart, but yes. Her words sent a chill down my spine. Touching, just the thought of it made me break out in a cold sweat.
It's fine. Let's just get out of this rain.
What was I doing? When had I decided to let her into my house? The warm light glowing inside the cabin was like a beacon drawing us in. Well, said my brain to myself, I guess this is a thing we're doing now. I no longer needed my flashlight, so I tucked it away and used that hand instead to help support the injured girl up the pathway. With my arm around her waist and her arm around my shoulder, it became very clear to me how small she really was. Small and delicate, like a folded paper crane, a soggy, limp paper crane in a drenched dress that clung to her shivering body. Just then, my pant leg caught on something, a nail, jutting out from the outside of the porch. I felt the fabric tug and rip as we moved past. Great, what an evening this was turning out to be. Once we made it inside, I helped the stranger sit down on a wooden chair. I made a mental note to disinfect that chair later, and my clothes, maybe even the flashlight, but first aid.
Where did I put that kit?
I was never good at staying organized, even on my computer. All my folders and internet tabs were a mess. No point fighting entropy. That was my philosophy. I searched the drawers, the gallery, the floor, and nearly tripped over that dumb broom again. Fucking broom. Before finally finding the first aid kit. It was not well stocked, but it would do for now. I gathered up some towels and my forehead thermometer too, there you go. Then I washed my hands, pulled on some gloves and a face mask from an old box in the back of the cupboard, and brought everything over to the waiting girl.
Before anything else, let me scan your temperature.
Beep boop pop. I held the scanner up to her forehead. 2 seconds passed before we heard the good beep, which meant her temperature was normal.
No fever. That's a relief. Do you have any other symptoms?
Her eyes widened. She shook her head. Well, it was still better to be cautious. I barely breathed as I took her leg into my lap and started tending her wound. She didn't wince or complain at all. She was tougher than she looked. I was the opposite. I knew. I looked mean even when I wasn't trying, but on the inside I was basically a fluffy yellow duckling with anxiety. If our situation were reversed, and it was my leg all caught up like that, I'd probably been a weepy wreck, spouting rare and extravagant curse words. But she sat there, quietly watching.
Are you a doctor?
She's just, sure. Was she joking?
Do you honestly think I look like a doctor?
Shit, way to draw attention to your looks, idiot, I thought to myself. Not that I cared, really. It was just that I hadn't combed my hair in a few days or weeks. I've been living in the same set of clothes for a while now. Really, dude? Come on. Hygiene. A ratty old t-shirt with a rocket ship on the front and a pair of jeans that had long gone out of fashion. Hot, right? In another life, I might have been self-conscious. Not about my teeth, though. Never about my teeth. Dentists were kind of a thing of the past. Since I wanted to keep my teeth for chewing purposes and whatnot, I was committed to practicing good oral hygiene. Well, at least you did something good for yourself.
Well, I'm not sure what a doctor looks like, but you seem to know what you're doing, and you're a very kind person. So I believe you if you told me you were a doctor.
Oh boy, she's so naive I can rob stuff from her. I looked away, awkwardly holding a clean bandage against the gash in her leg. The towels I'd used to clean the wound were now a pile of blood-soaked, mud-stained rags on the dirty floor. Was I a kind person?
It's just basic first aid. Not a big deal. Here, hold this. Put pressure on it while I wrap it up.
I wrapped a length of gauze around her narrow leg to hold the bandage in place.
That should be okay overnight, but we should probably clean it again and rewrap it tomorrow.
It says so on Google. Her leg didn't leave my lap. Instead, she wiggled her toes and shot me a small smile.
You're going to let me stay here?
Huh?
I looked up at her and instantly forgot how to speak, because suddenly I was struck by how pretty she was. I mean, the rain had really done a number on her, but still. She must have been around 20, give or take. Not too much younger than me. She was thin, but everyone was thin these days. With her, it was like she'd been built this way, small and delicate and weightless. Her dress was simple and a little threadbare. The rain had soaked through and I realized I could sort of see her undergarments. I quickly averted my eyes, my cheeks warming. I hope she hadn't noticed me looking, because I really hadn't meant to look.
You said clean it again tomorrow, right?
I did say that. The room seemed to spin a little, and my face went from feeling very hot to feeling very cold. Stay away from each other. That was the rule. What was I supposed to do? Save here. Maybe it's okay if she stays. Look how pitiful she is, said my brain. My brain was right, and I didn't know what to do, except go along with it.
Well, it's not like I'm going to just send you back out into the rain.
Or I could. I mean, I could. Literally, I can. But that's not a human thing to do.
Not by yourself, anyway. Is there anyone else in your bubble? Anyone I can call to come get you, or...
She looked down into her lap.
No.
Oh. Her response made me too nervous to ask any further questions. Just wasn't sure I could handle a tragic backstory at that particular moment. In any case, I knew that if my parents were still around, they'd never send this girl back out into the night. They'd have let her stay, at least, until she got her bearings. I thought it said bench. I sighed, giving in.
Okay, well, you can sleep on my couch tonight. We'll figure the rest out tomorrow.
Just a couch?
We should really stay at least 6 feet apart, though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
She nodded and gently removed her leg from my lap. I moved back, making more space between us, and tried to examine the rip in my pant leg. Meanwhile, my brain tried to fathom what was happening. I brought a stranger to my house. I didn't know who she was or where she'd come from. This seemed like a bad idea and also a tad surreal.
Damn, I liked these pants.
Oh no, did you get hurt too?
Yeah, my poor pants.
No, it's just a rip.
Oh, that's not so bad.
It is bad. For me. I got up and made even more space between us. She stood up too, testing her weight on her injured leg.
Wow, it already feels so much better. You must have a magical healing touch.
Wait, nice. Even her mouth flaps. Did they do it manually? Because doing it manually is a pain in the ass. I was starting to think she might be one of those weird optimistic people. Also, it was hard to think straight with her, standing up in that very damp, very revealing dress.
You need to take that dress off. That came out wrong. What I mean is, it's wet and cold, and I'm sure you'd feel better if you changed into something dry and warm.
Oh boy, misunderstandings all around.
I'm sure I have some extra clothes you can wear.
Oh crap, is this the boyfriend clothes event?
Really?
Yeah. Hot in the face, I ran off to procure a basket of old clothes from my storage closet. I hadn't worn them since my teenage years. They were too small for me now, but it might be a good fit for her.
Here, take whatever you want. They're all clean.
I dropped the basket on the table and walked backwards away from it.
That's so nice of you. I'll get changed now.
Not here, though. Go to someplace else. I watched her take the basket and hobble out of the room to change where I couldn't see. When she came back, I was surprised to see that she had chosen a button-down that was part of my old school uniform from back before everything went online. She never even asked, like, are you the only person here living, or are there any other people? Holy shit, the boyfriend clothes event. I'd been much younger and much smaller when I wore that shirt, but even still, it swam on her frame. It almost looked like a nightgown, which was probably why she had chosen it.
I haven't felt this comfy since I don't know when. It's a school shirt, right? I always liked the look of school uniforms, but I never got to wear one. All my classes were online.
For some reason, that made me a little sad. I myself had so few memories of the world before the sickness. It's hard to imagine not having any at all.
How old are you?
21. My birthday was actually last week.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday. Do you have a name?
Oh, of course I do. It's Mallory.
Nice to meet you, Mallory. Well, not nice exactly. Weird to meet you, I guess. I'm not used to people.
Oh, my quirky self is at it again.
Yeah, I get it. I didn't mean to trespass onto your property. I really did get lost. And then the rain started, and I could hear these dogs or something howling. I was scared, and I ran towards the first light I saw.
I nodded as if to say I understood. It was true that there were things like wolves and coyotes in the area. That was why I'd set up an extra secure fence for my chickens.
But what were you doing out there in the first place?
I would rather not talk about that.
I stared at her, totally perplexed. Why the secrecy? Should I press her for more? Come on, dude. It's decent to just let it go for now. She had a rough night. Don't force stuff onto someone you don't know that very well, or not really that necessary to force something on anyone at all. I decided not to push it. It was all too much and I really needed sleep. My toe was hurting where I'd stubbed it on the broom.
Don't worry about it. You're here now, so just take the opportunity to get some rest.
I skirted around her to grab some blankets. I maintained a wide berth as I grabbed them on the couch. I offered her a glass of water, pointed out the bathroom, asked if she needed anything, all from afar.
This is perfect. Thank you so much for everything. Truly, I'm lucky to have met you.
Yeah, just try not to touch anything, okay?
I shuffled my feet awkwardly. Shuffle, shuffle.
Okay, I'm going to bed. Bye.
I hope you have sweet dreams. I'll see you in the morning.
As I made my way up the stairs to the bedroom, I glanced back. Mallory was already curled up on the couch, looking quite cozy. Couldn't remember the last time I had anyone in my home, even briefly. I've been so careful for such a long time. I didn't know where she had been, or if she had been as careful as I was. But when my gaze fell on her bandaged leg, a prickle of guilt surged up.
Good night.
I finished climbing the stairs and flopped down on my bed. I was so exhausted, emotionally puzzled, and mentally drained. It didn't take long for me to fall deeply asleep. Sleepy, sleepy. Chapter 3, Germination. I woke as usual, to the happy sound of a rooster crowing in the garden. The sky was clear and the early morning sun was bright and cheery. You'd think a morning like that would have put me in a great mood, but nope. All my night dreams had revolved around strange bugs infesting the cabin, hordes of them squirming inside through every crack. I must have been tense all night because my neck had a painful kink in it. I had definitely woken up on the proverbial wrong side of the bed. I suppose I'd forgotten about my house guest, or at least I hadn't remembered to think about her yet. I was busy making a list in my head of the work I needed to get done today. That's when the smoke alarm started shrieking. Is that a smoke alarm or... I bolted upright in bed. There was someone in my house, and I'd let her in, and yep, I could definitely smell something burning. I rushed to put on some real daytime clothes and barreled downstairs. Mallory stood in the kitchen looking mortified. A little smoke hung in the air, but I didn't see any flames. Phew. Grabbing a chair, I jumped to silence the smoke alarm.
Thank you. I'm really so sorry. I tried wafting a dish towel at it, but the alarm just wouldn't stop. I didn't wake you, did I? Oh.
You're a little too late for that because I'm already awake. Wasn't really listening to her. Was still busy creating space between us and also looking for the source of the smoke. There it was, a pan with a charred black mass sitting in it. I didn't know what she'd burned, but she'd really burned it.
What is that?
Oh, I thought I'd make you breakfast as a thank you. My mom used to have the best recipe for potato pancakes that would always fuel me for the day.
That doesn't look like potato pancakes at all. That doesn't look anything resembling a potato nor a pancake.
But these... well, I'm not totally sure what happened. I never used a stove like yours before, so this batch got a little... overdone. Maybe I can scrape off the burnt part.
Is it still edible?
You know what? Forget I said that. It's all burnt part. I'll just clean up my mess and then I'll make you a new batch. And I will definitely be more careful this time.
Enough!
Hang on, did you say potato pancakes?
They're the best. It's too bad this first batch didn't turn out because I spent all morning digging up the potatoes, washing them, peeling them. They were so tiny it took extra long. And I was worried you'd wake up before I could finish.
Wait a second.
Luckily, I've got some other treats on the go as well, so you're not going to starve. Just let me turn on the toaster real quick.
She turned, reaching for the toaster handle, but the microwave was running and the kettle was boiling and...
Wait, stop!
Too late, she overloaded the solar panel's inverter, and just like that, the kettle, microwave, toaster, and kitchen lights all shut off.
Why did you do that?
Because she wanted to do something nice. Mallory, having plated the overdone pancakes for some reason, dropped the plate in alarm. It smashed, flinging shards of itself across the floor. The blackened pancakes bounced like rocks. Sad potato rocks.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to make you some breakfast. I didn't mean to cause so much trouble. I'll clean this up.
I sighed in frustration. All I had wanted was to make coffee and sit down at my computer, just like every other morning. I couldn't do that now because I had to get the power sorted out. I checked to make sure she hadn't completely destroyed my precious garden.
Are you angry with me?
Grrr. How was I supposed to answer that? This is outrageous. It's unfair. But a decent person would say, it's not really that big of a deal. I was definitely upset. I definitely didn't like the situation, but it wasn't like she'd intentionally ruined my potatoes. She'd only be so audacious as to dig them up without permission. Long before they were ready, yeah. Even after I'd specifically told her not to touch anything. I looked away.
I'm just not a breakfast person.
I'm really sorry. I just wanted to do something nice as a thank you for letting me stay here. I promise I'll fix everything and then I'll just get ready to leave.
Sure, whatever.
I turned away and went to haul on my work gloves and my boots.
I'll be out in the yard for a while.
I ran out, and as I pulled the back door shut behind me, I heard a soft sound from the kitchen, like a heavy sigh or a stifled sob. Wait, was she crying?
What did I get myself into?
You're getting into human interaction, what others feel every fucking day.
For real, I can't believe.
Continued muttering grumpily to myself as I strode out into the garden. Then I took a deep breath of fresh cold air. It had an autumn bite to it, but the sun was warm. I felt instantly calmer.
Oh well, she'll be gone soon anyway.
I took my time that morning, dealing with the power issue and making the usual rounds. Happy hands check. Busy beehive check. I did a rough count of the firewood in my shed, then made my way back around the front of the cabin. I stopped when I saw the bloody animal trap where Mallory had gotten hurt the night before.
Damn, that had to have been painful.
I felt pretty bad. Traps were only supposed to be wards, something to keep my bubble a little safer from a dangerous wildlife. I never meant for anyone to get hurt. I looked at the trap, wondering if I should rethink my setup. Move the trap. I decided to move the trap and set it further away from the house, closer to the woods.
Maybe next time I'll catch something less likely to ruin my day. Okay, that was a bit harsh. She didn't mean to ruin my day. A rabbit would be good, though.
I ignored the sudden craving for rabbit stew and, having finished with the trap, wandered down into the garden. Right away I could see where Mallory had dug up breakfast. I surveyed the overturned earth with a heavy heart, noticing a handful of small potatoes uprooted and abandoned. Well, I could always plant something new here. It was the right time of year for garlic. The sun had already climbed high into the sky, and I was feeling almost warm enough to peel off my sweater. I figured I should probably go inside, maybe eat something, check in on poor Mallory, and get to work on my computer. Right away as I went inside and kicked off my boots, something didn't feel right. It took me a moment to realize. The mess was gone. There were no brooms on the floor, no garbage bags waiting to go out, no scattered crumbs or dust bunny cities. Everything looked so clean. I literally sparkled. But how and why had Mallory done all this just to make up for that little breakfast fiasco?
Whoa, this is really nice. Like, really, really nice.
As I looked around at all she had done, started to feel a bit of an ass. Figured I should apologize. But where was she? She hadn't left already, had she? Then there was something coming from the bathroom. The sound of splashing water and a small voice humming in a happy tune. My heart sank.
She couldn't. She wouldn't.
Without thinking, I threw open the bathroom door. We stared at each other, both of us shocked at my intrusion. Then my brain kicked back into gear and I tore my gaze away from her. But it was too late. I had seen everything, including the tub full of water.
What are you doing?
Why is it such a big deal?
I was just taking a bath.
Yeah. Pointing in the direction of the bathtub, keeping my eyes fixed on the doorframe.
That's my water supply!
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
It's still warm if you want to use it.
What? Did she not get it?
That's my water supply! My fresh water! My drinking water! My everything water! What were you thinking? Why did you use so much?
Panic was really setting in now. What if she turned the cistern dry? I'd have almost nothing the next rainfall, and who knew when that would be?
Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I had no idea. I'm so sorry. I really didn't know.
Yeah, I should probably give her all the rules first here, instead of just waiting for things to happen. I never run out of water before, but that was because I'd always been so careful. This could be the very day I had so deeply feared would come.
How do you survive this way? It's like you're constantly wasting things! Is this why you were out in the rain last night? Did your bubble decide to kick you out because you don't know how to think before you act?
Jesus Christ, you're the one that didn't give her any pointers or any bullet points on what do's and don'ts in the house. Her mouth popped open. I immediately felt bad for shouting. Damn, I really was in a bad mood today.
Just finish up in here. And don't drain that water, okay? I'll repurpose it for laundry or something.
Don't drink the bathtub water. I didn't want to acknowledge my own anger or the tears that had sprung into her eyes at what I'd said. In any case, I needed to check the rain barrels, like right that second, turned my back on her and walked away. For the rest of the afternoon, I sat at my computer waiting for Mallory to leave. I just couldn't stop thinking about her. And by that I mean I couldn't stop thinking about how naive, careless, and wasteful she was. Nothing to do with her shimmering eyes or how sweet she seemed to be, even when everything else was horrible. Nope. The good news was I checked the rain barrels, and the situation wasn't as dire as I feared. As long as it rained again sometime in the next few weeks, we'd be okay. Still, I sat at my computer for a long time, entirely unable to focus on my work. When Mallory finally reappeared, she was holding the cardboard box of my old clothes. For some reason, she was still only wearing a bath towel. That made me feel all sorts of uncomfortable feelings, and I tried extra hard to keep my eyes on the computer screen. I pretended to type. I noticed the box had more clothing in it than before. I even saw some of my favorites peeking out. Save here. Ask her what she's up to. So, I cleared my throat loudly, and Mallory looked at me.
What are you doing with those clothes?
Oh, I was just going to go through them and sort out what's good to wear. I hope that's okay.
Huh, that didn't sound too worrisome. Maybe she was finally getting ready to go.
Right. You're welcome to take anything that doesn't fit me anymore. I'm sure you could use some warmer things to wear out there on your travels.
I turned quickly back to my computer, hoping I hadn't hurt her feelings with my not-so-subtle reminder that I didn't want her here. Why do you care about her feelings? Asked my brain. You already told her she's not welcome. She'll be gone soon either way. I hyper-focused on my screen, and in another couple of hours, I still had nothing done. Suddenly, it was dark out, and I was starving. And Mallory still hadn't left. In fact, she was in the kitchen, and there were nice, savory smells wafting my way out. I logged off and shut down my computer quickly but casually, making my way over to her. I found her tending to 3 separate pots on the stove, all of them shimmering and steaming pleasantly. How dare she! Nothing was burning this time either, which made me feel annoying feelings like impressed and kind of excited to eat that. Mallory noticed me standing there and smiled way too brightly.
Oh, good, you're finished working. That's perfect because supper is ready.
Why are you still in your bath towel? She started dishing out the oddly fancy-looking meal onto 2 large plates.
What is all this?
Why are you still wearing your bath towel?
It's all made from freeze-dried proteins and grains I found in the pantry, and some spices, which, by the way, make all the difference when it comes to flavoring a dish. Oh, and I only used things that were already open, so I hope I didn't overstep again. I can tell you work really hard, and I know I made a mess of things, and I just really wanted to make it up to you.
Great, now I feel guilty 10 times.
I'm determined to have a net positive impact here.
Positive. COVID. She thought I'd been nice? I was suddenly very concerned about how low the bar was for her. I also couldn't help feeling a little charmed by her determination. Wanted to let her know that I did actually appreciate her efforts.
Well, this does look incredible. And by the smell of it, I'm pretty sure I'll be licking these plates clean.
Yeah.
Or, you did wash your hands before you started, right?
Yes, silly. And I still don't have any symptoms of any sicknesses either. So come on, let's eat. I want you to enjoy it while it's hot.
Why are you still wearing that? There was something so endearing in the simplicity of her delight. I smiled as I took my plate and sat down at the far end of the table, away from her. We ate in silence. The food really was delicious. I wouldn't have guessed she'd had it in her, not based on that morning. Wonder if I should try to get her some answers out of her now, I thought, and cleared my throat.
How's your leg feeling?
It's not too bad.
I should probably take a look at it after supper. Clean it up and put a fresh bandage on it. And then, I suppose we should talk about getting you home?
Right. Home.
I mean, I don't know if you have a family or a group or whatever, or if you're on your own like me, But you don't exactly look like you, live in the forest.
She looks like a fairy, though.
So where are you headed?
She lifted one shoulder, visibly uncertain.
Surely there must be someone, somewhere.
I'll figure something out.
Oh, crap.
Hang on, no. I want to make sure you're going to be okay.
I thought you just wanted me to leave.
Ideally, I'd like to know at least something about your situation. Maybe I could help you.
She looked away.
That's sweet of you, but I'm sorry. I'm just not ready to talk about it.
Okay.
It fell quiet once more, just the awkward scrape of forks and plates to fill the silence. Considered her as she sat across from me, so beautiful. It was as if she was a digital painting. Because she is.
Can I just ask one more question? Why are you still wearing that towel?
Yeah, it's been in my mind since the very beginning. She looked at me blankly. Last few months of food balanced on her fork. Oh my god, it's raining so hard I fell back onto her plate. She glanced down at herself, then up again, hands clasping against the sides of her face.
What? You mean I've been wearing this the whole time?
You dumb.
Oh, I can't believe it. How do I forget these things? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Oh my gosh.
I couldn't help laughing. I felt like I was finally catching on. She was a bit of a space case, that was all, and her mannerisms made it sort of adorable.
I'll be back to clean up as soon as I'm decent.
Hey, take your time. Her efforts to flee quickly were hampered by her leg. She ended up limping away in search of her clothes, mumbling exasperatedly under her breath. That's when it hit me. I hadn't even considered how much pain she must have been in, as she cooked and cleaned and tried so hard to pay me back. Oh fuck, this is not looking good. It's raining so hard. I think I should end it here, fellas. Let's see. End it here, so yeah. This is Cabin Fever. Ha! What was that Sesame movie? There was a song about that. It was funny. So far, she's charming. The main protagonist is a bit of an asshole. Like, dude, chill. So yeah, this is Cabin Fever. If you want to try the game for yourselves, the links are in the description. I had to pay for this, but it's on sale, so yeah, it didn't really break my wallet. So thankfully for that. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.